Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Steph Sells Homes podcast. Another episode brought to you by ADU Insider. ADU Insider is an awesome blog and network of professionals within the space who you can connect with, collaborate with, and we hope that you enjoy the show. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Steph Sells Homes podcast. Today we've got episode number 16 here with Cameron Meredith at ADUWestCoast. And I want to first off thank him for the space. We're actually at the ADUWestCoast headquarters, and that's where we're recording the podcast today. So huge shout out to him. I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and tell us a little bit more about ADUWestCoast. So thank you again, Cameron.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I guess I'll start off with a little bit of background about me and kind of the company and how that started. But I grew up in Huntington Beach, so from Orange County. Went to high school here, went away for college, studied business management, came back, and growing up, my dad actually did large-scale security for music festivals, events, shows, trade shows, stuff like that. So I was managing stages, and I was sick of dealing with a bunch of drunk people. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go get my real estate license. And eventually got into real estate and then shifted towards working with investors and looking for, construction crews and teams to work with. And so about 5 years ago, I met these guys and they're really good at construction development. So I decided to team up with them. And we decided to specialize in luxury home development, building custom homes from start to finish. Throughout that time, we built ADUs, but really our focus was custom homes. And then in 2020, when the state laws changed for California, we wanted to start a company just specifically doing ADUs. And we took our same concept, which is design build, from the luxury custom home building, and we just shifted towards ADUs. So now all our focus is ADUs. We got 17 projects going, and it's continuing to grow every day.
Wow, that's a lot. And let me ask you, within this whole journey, right, of you transitioning into real estate and then working with investors and then working in construction, I mean, I'm sure that at some point you knew that ADUs were going to be a thing. So around what time do you remember, like what year that was? Was it 2017, 2018?
Yeah, I think, the ADU, when we decided to really focus on it was when we saw the legislation change in California. So we immediately thought that it would be a very good niche to dive into. And again, we've done multiple ADUs before that point. But it was then and there that me and one of my partners said, hey, let's look at specializing in just building ADUs. What we found is a lot of the bigger guys don't really want to deal with it. It's a little too small for them. And then some of the smaller guys, there's a lot of good contractors out there, but some of the smaller guys might take a little bit longer since they're self-performing or whatever. So we kind of hit that sweet spot, which is nice.
Yeah, that was awesome. And was that around the time when you started, scaling your YouTube channel as well, or?
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons why I decided to have Cameron on the show today was I really enjoy how much education content he throws out there. And you guys know I'm heavy on content and educational content, but also making it entertaining. So he does a very good job of showing the behind the scenes process, but also being super educational. And you're like on every Facebook group.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ADU Facebook groups, YouTube. So can you tell us a little bit more about that and how you transitioned to that?
So when we decided to just focus on ADUs, it's a very niche topic. It's a very niche product. So when we decided to go on it, I said, hey, look, why don't I become the expert at ADUs, and why don't I educate people, whether it's realtors or brokers, kind of my past clientele and colleagues, right? So I became the go-to guy for basically putting out YouTube videos on how much does it cost to build an ADU, how long does it take to build an ADU, what is the process like. So I have a library of over, I think, 50 videos now, and it's all ADU related. So really for us, we never really tried to sell people. We always try to educate people, and that's what's brought us so much business, because when someone does run into an issue or an answer on an ADU, they call me, and I will get them the answer. If I don't know it, my partners will know it if it's more construction related, and we're just kind of the go-to people for that.
And you also have the content just there, right? for quick reference, like I'm
Yeah.
sure if they can't get a hold of you, you've done such a good job of having that content there to really answer people's questions to the
Yep.
point where they come to work with you, they've already had all their questions answered, I'm sure.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
So that leads me to my next question on the time management and also project management, right? How have you guys streamlined the process in being able to, I know you guys have multiple projects working right now at the same time, different phases. So what is like that secret sauce, right, to get all the projects in hand, have great communication, and making sure everything's running smoothly for everyone?
Definitely, it's a big task because when you have 17 construction projects, there's a lot of moving parts. So the way we structure our company is we have in-house architectural designers, in-house engineers. So they will work on the pre-construction portion of the plans and drawings and submittals. So that group handles all that. Then we have our construction department, which we have one main, my partner Chung, who's a structural engineer as well as a general contractor. He oversees all the projects where we have different project managers per area that manage different projects.
Wow, and that right there is key. Now, do you guys have like weekly team huddles or every morning huddles? Like, what would that ideal, project management day look like?
Yeah, good question. So we as a company always have a Monday meeting at 10 a.m. where we go through all the current projects, what needs to be done. From that point, since we're divvied up into kind of two different sections, pre-construction, construction, they'll go from there and have their own meetings with their own team. So whatever needs to be done for that week, we bring that up on the call, and then they kind of handle that from there, talking to their project managers or their engineers, etc.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, he definitely has his system down as far as that goes. Anything that you think is needed in the project management space, like, a blind spot that maybe some other GCs out there listening or project managers or really anyone in the space, right, who's looking for a great project manager, what do you see in the space that we need to probably work on?
As you're saying, as far as what needs to be worked on from a standpoint of managing the projects.
Managing the project, because like right now, for example, with inflation being so high, like obviously me as a realtor, I've had to change up certain conversations having with clients and set a different expectation. So on the construction side, I see that sometimes there's a lack of communication between the homeowner, the subcontractors, ordering materials. There's a shortage of everything. There's inflation that comes into play as well. So yeah, like what would be something that we definitely need to work on right now?
I would say
market.
You said it. Number one's communication. I mean, you got to think about this. A construction project is at least a year, right? So you have to have this year relationship with your client. And nobody likes delays. Nobody likes stuff happening. But the truth is, a construction project is never perfect. There's always stuff that comes up, right? So I think being proactive and setting expectations for the project is very key. Because what's gonna happen is if you're not informative and not on top of, hey, here's what's happening, here's what's going on, your client's gonna be mad because why is it not done within 9 months or 10 months?
Exactly.
And if you don't set that expectation that, hey, if there is rain delays, it's gonna be delayed. There are shortages in material, so if you're not on top of ordering that material a little bit earlier, you could have delays in projects. So I would say communication's probably the number one thing. Is why clients get upset and why project managers get frustrated, right? It's miscommunication.
100%. And again, you have to vet who it is that you work with and make sure they communicate well. When Cameron and I met in person, we met through Instagram. Again, just putting it out there and being consistent with it. He reached out and said, hey, want to check out one of our projects, right? And I mean, you don't have to ask me twice, right, to come over and check out an ADU
It was close
site.
by, too.
And it was close by. Like, literally right down the street from the office.
Yeah.
So I decided to meet up with him. We checked out, I think it was 2 or 3 projects that he had here locally in Lakewood, Long Beach area. And all in different phases. And he was very transparent about the time frame, which is what I really liked. Because going back to setting those expectations early on, you do have to make sure that you set yourself up, with these realistic time frames, So one of the projects I remember we looked at, and they're all on our Instagram, one of them was 9 months. The other one was about 11 months.
Yeah.
So somewhere between 9 to 11 months is the new norm now, guys. And we definitely have to just be realistic with it, right? And set yourself up for that expectation from the get-go. So that I love that about you guys.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
Now, one other last question. If somebody wanted to connect with you guys, I know that they're also very heavy involved here in Long Beach, which is where we're from, Long Beach locals. Mm-hmm. But what other areas do you guys service besides Long Beach?
So as of right now, we for the main part, it's LA, Orange County, and Inland Empire. We do have a couple projects out in Riverside. So that's our territory for construction. Realistically, on design, for getting people their permits and doing the plans and engineering, we can do that statewide. So, but I would say for the most part right now, we're LA, Orange County, Inland Empire.
Perfect. Awesome. And I've got 2 more fun questions
Yeah.
that I like to finish off the podcast with because it's just fun, right? So the first one is your favorite dish or restaurant, and then second one, your favorite travel spot or go-to spot.
So, overall dish, let's put it this way. I love Japanese food. My grandma's from Japan, so that's one of my favorite go-to foods. I'm a big foodie. My favorite restaurant is actually a very small traditional Japanese restaurant in Cerritos called Gecko Thai.
Oh, wow.
And it's very, very traditional. I don't sit on the floor where you have to cross your legs, but they have that there. I'm too big for that. But I'll just say, in general, sushi, traditional Japanese food is probably my favorite. If I were to have a dish, like my go-to dish to cook is cioppino, Italian cioppino.
Oh, nice.
Seafood.
Okay.
So,
I love seafood.
Yes,
well.
Same
you
here.
Never go wrong.
And then what was the? Did you have another question?
Yeah, the travel spot.
Travel. I'm a big traveler too. I like going all over the place. But I would say, like, my favorite place I've ever been, I would say Spain. Yeah, Spain or Greece. I just love the Mediterranean, Spanish culture. The people are really cool. They stay up all night, have fun, So.
And they're very integrated, right? Like, Mediterranean and Spaniards, right? They were conquered at some point. I don't know my history
huge
that
culture,
well, but very Mediterranean oriented, right? In Spain. I've never been either.
Definitely. And you see that in the food, which is great, which is, again, I love food and traveling, so, yeah.
I love Mediterranean food. And I think what I do know is that Mexico was going to be called Nueva España. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Which is New Spain, but that was before Mexico became independent.
Yep. Well, I love Mexico too. Like, I love going out there.
I saw you were there not that long ago.
Yeah, I try to go once in a while because my dad's a big fisherman, so we used to go down all the time and go fishing different spots. But I love people in Mexico are great. Food's excellent, and it's close by, which you can't beat too.
You can't beat that. And sometimes we need a quick getaway for these construction projects.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's nice to go to Mexico, feel like you're in Spain, and then come back.
Exactly.
Right? Awesome. Well, I got to thank Cameron. I know he's super busy, and we hope that this was very motivational, inspirational for you guys coming in hot on a Monday morning. And we got to get to work, guys. So we will see you guys on the next one. But please make sure you tap in with Cameron if you guys have any questions, ADU-related questions, construction, financing. Shoot, he even helps with real estate as well. So I'm excited to have him. And we're going to be announcing a few collaborations that we have, coming soon. So I'm excited for that. And any closing thoughts?
No, that's it. Thanks for having me. And if you need to get a hold of me, I think I missed out on that. You can always go on our website, ADUWestCoast.com. Any of our social handles, all the same stuff. So YouTube, Instagram, Facebook is all ADU West Coast. And then you can always email me at Cameron, CAMERON, at ADUWestCoast.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much for watching the show. I will see you on the next one. And again, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. This podcast was brought to you by ADU Insider, and you can check them out on my 10K card, Steph10K.com.